Hello, and welcome to episode 220 of the Arena Regulars podcast. I'm Zach,
And I'm Jeff.
and we're your source for drunken Magic the Gathering arena content.
That's right, just a couple of regular guys drinking some irregular beers, talking about Magic the Gathering, in particular, the online client MTG Arena.
That's right, and this week we're talking about Lorwyn Eclipsed. It's just come on the scene. It is officially on Arena. Very exciting stuff. This is one of our favorite episodes where we get to have our first sips or our first thoughts of the set, which entails some, fun little things. We pick some cards, we do some stuff. It is a great time. But first, each week we bring a beer. We drink it, we rate it on a scale from bronze to mythic, just like the tiers in Arena. So with that, Jeff, what is on tap this week?
All right, this week we have a granola brown ale. It is from Black Hog Brewing Co. And I'm seeing some World Beer Cup Gold Award winner. It's described as a light-bodied, full-flavored, award-winning American brown ale. Excited to give this one a try because I love brown ales, as people know. I think it's an underrated style that people just don't brew enough of, so it's kind of hard to get around here. But you actually got this one. Where'd you pick it up?
I did. So Black Hog is from Oxford, Connecticut. I did not go to Connecticut. I was in New York, however. Not in New York City, New York State, on my way to a wedding a few months back. So hopefully this beer holds up from the travel and the time that I takes to drink it. But yeah, obviously the granola brown ale caught my eye, and the award-winning part also seemed kind of interesting. But I found it in, I believe it was called Beer World or Beer Planet or something. It was a very strange liquor store that was like, you walk in, it's just shelves of beer, like cases on pallets, and like there's one room that's just kind of open and it's just a bunch of empty cans in bags. And the weirdest part of the whole thing was it was super bright, and there was no music. It was just silence, you walking around being like, oh god, this is really creepy.
I don't know
And
if I like that.
it was really bizarre. And it was a thing where it was like, hello?
I'm
Is
getting
anyone...
weirded out just listening to this description of this place.
Yeah, I'm like, does anybody work here? Because, like, they have the glass cases with, like, bongs and, like, pipes and stuff. And it was just like, I haven't seen anyone that works here around. Like, this is really bizarre. I'm just walking around just looking for stuff. So it was kind of like, I want to stay here and check things out, but I'm getting weirded out. So let's just grab something and go. And this one looked great. So I'm excited to taste this one again. I have tried it, so I'm excited to hear what your thoughts are on it, and if mine have changed. So yeah, let's give it a try. Oh yeah,
It's brown.
it is brown.
Oh dear God, what have I done?
Oh no, you screwed it up. Ah, you dummy.
Hey man, it's my first time. All right.
With that, we have some magic news. So last weekend was the Lorwyn Eclipsed pre-release. And, there's a little bit of drama, a little bit of stuff going on. Jeff, when you go to a pre-release for a set, do you usually hope to just open cards from that set?
Yes.
Yeah. That's just not what happened. Many people had this happen to them all over the place. To you? That happened to you? Oh my gosh. So Jeff, then tell us what happened.
Well, so I was running a little late, did some family stuff, but I happened to know that they give ample deck building time, and I can show up late and be no problem. I'd pre-ordered my spot or whatever, so it was good. But I show up a little late, everyone's like deck building, and I sit down, I open my pre-release kit, and I take the promo card out, which normally it always comes with a promo card that you are allowed to play in your deck. And I look at it, and I'm like, I've never heard of this card, and it's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle card. And I assumed that this was some weird gimmick that they were doing, So I'm like asking people, are we allowed to play this? And people are looking at me like, yeah, that's your promo card. You can play it. And I'm like, oh, I know that normally you're allowed to play your promo card, but this feels different because it's not in the set. And people are kind of like, what? And then I showed them, and then one guy over there was like, no, I got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle too. I was like, can we play these? Can we not play these? And then eventually the owner was like, just play them, whatever. You can play them in your decks.
Okay.
But this was the Friday night one, so we were like, they had nothing to go on, right? This
Right.
was
They're like, I don't know. They were like the
this
first
wasn't
things.
a known thing yet. And so, yeah, conspiracy theories were going around the whole place. Like, they did it on purpose. They didn't do it on purpose. But I think the consensus was, I don't care if they did it on purpose or not. This sucks because this was like the one Magic set I get to actually play in, and there's a whole bunch of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cards in it, like floating around the pre-release.
Yeah, and it was all promos, so it wasn't like people were opening like packs of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but about I think 100 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle rares were spoiled through this, and I'm positive it wasn't on purpose, because if they did this on purpose as like a marketing technique to be like, get ready for Ninja Turtles, I'm pretty positive this is not how they wanted to spoil the set, and
It's so weird.
more importantly, this isn't whatever company Ninja Turtles is. They didn't want this to be the way that the cards were spoiled. So like, there's no way that this was on purpose.
Yeah, they probably lost a little bit of
Like a ton of steam, right? Like their entire previous season is going to get screwed up now. Everybody already knows all the cards. But it once again screws up a pre-release where we're talking about cards that aren't the actual set that's happening. It's like Edge of Eternity's all over again, where we're talking about Spider-Man or we're talking about Avatar, and it's like,
yeah.
is this every time we have like a Magic set? Is it going to be like during that pre-release weekend, you're going to see like Strixhaven, it's going to be all Marvel cards? You know, is that going to happen to us too? Like, they just can't let you like stuff. So you gotta shove all this other stuff in it. Anyway, that sucks. I'm sorry that happened to you. That's brutal.
Yeah, I think because I was late and I didn't see other people go through it, I was just super confused. I thought like everyone got this, but everyone was playing it. Like, nobody seemed to be acknowledging that it was weird that this card was different.
Yeah.
Like, from a totally different set.
Yeah, it's just, it's such a bummer.
The card was pretty good, and I put it in my deck. It was like some red one that, anyways, it deals
Does
damage
stuff.
to them and creates creatures when it attacks, and like it did
Oh
a
wow,
bunch of
yeah,
stuff,
okay,
but-
so that sounds like awesome. But
yeah, it was a very strong limited card. So I was like, oh, now I feel the need to put this in my deck.
yeah, that's just so, that's kind of annoying because it kind of just ruins the whole thing.
Yeah, although I did like happen to just meet somebody. Like, I didn't play against them. They're just sort of in my area, and I think they're a friend of a friend. Like, I think Ryan knew him somehow, who just loves turtles. Not necessarily the Ninja Turtles,
Just
but he
turtles.
does like them. But he loves turtles, so I just gave it to him.
Oh,
a few
nice.
things. Like,
Oh,
hey,
good.
there you go. And he seemed to appreciate that. So it's like, okay, at least somebody
That's
got
good.
something good out of this.
I'm also sure that the person who getting a free card that isn't released yet is also exciting. So
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't exciting to me, so if it could
Right.
have been exciting to someone else, then that's great.
yeah, yeah. But anyway, bummer. Besides that, was your pre-release good? Did you like your deck? Did it? is it-
So I went. Actually, no, I did win my last match, but I went 0-2, and then the friend that I went with was also 0-2, so we were kind of hoping to play each other, but the tournament was big enough that that didn't end up happening. My deck was, I think, kind of bad actually. My pool had, and I think this might be something that kind of comes up in this format in Sealed, but my pool had like pockets of a bunch of different like creature types,
Sure. Yeah.
but no real reason to be any one of them. And so what I ended up doing was like a goblinsy thing with a lot of shapeshifters that kind of merged into elves. So I kind of played like a Jund thing.
Hey.
Just because that's where my payoffs were.
Yeah. That I
But
was just. Sorry. I don't want to interrupt. Keep going.
No, but if you did the same thing, that's awesome. But I realized, like, I have a bunch of goblins. I don't have a reason to be goblins. Like, nothing is like, oh, every time you play a goblin, it deals 1 damage. You know, it's just like, I just have a lot of pretty decent goblins. I did have the one champion thing. That card was good. So, like, having goblins sort of matters for that.
It really matters. You can't cast it without that. So.
Yeah, but it's not like having 10 goblins.
Oh, no.
Like having 2 goblins, 3 goblins in play is more important. You just need 1 in your deck. So you kind of need, like, or in your hand or on the in play. So you need enough in your deck that's likely, but it's not like an exciting sort of goblin payoff. Anyways, but I had this card that I knew was bad. Let me just clarify. I knew that I shouldn't have played this card, but it was a pre-release, so I was like, let's see and have some fun.
Yeah, try it out.
And it's the 4/4 haste that doubles mana. And it gives everything haste, and it doubles everyone's mana.
The like jackalope thing?
Yeah. So I was like, I gotta play this card. Like, I'm in red. I'm at a pre-release. I want to be red for other reasons. We're gonna fucking play this thing. Yeah. And it single-handedly lost me every single game that I played it with. And, like, cost me the 2 matches that I lost, for sure.
That's hilarious. You're like, what would you do with double your mana? And like, oh, beat me? Okay, that makes sense.
Well, it was like, it's one of those asymmetric things where it's like, you get to use the mana first, because I had to spend my mana on this. But I get the haste first. So it's sort of like, whoa, it turns like, it just turns the game turbo mode immediately with a slight edge to your opponent, is how I would describe it.
Yeah.
And maybe even more than a slight edge. But the first time I played it, I also had this turtle, and the turtle, whenever it attacks, it creates a 2/2, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield, it would shock their face, and it's a 7/5. So I was like, there we go, we're going to do this thing, and we're going to do the turtle, and then I'm going to play, I had the Morkant elf lady, and so I was like, this could be a fuck ton of damage. This is a race, surely we can win. And I played it, and then that all went according to plan, and they were dead next turn. But I had to keep a creature back, because they had a big creature. But it had trample, and I was like, okay, I think they had a way to make a 2/2 from their graveyard. So I was like, okay, I think we win if they have trouble finding 2 extra sources of damage that can get through my blocker. It was like, it's like, you need to produce like 2 creatures, and one of them needs to be able to get through this blocker.
To trample or something.
Or I just chump block. But they ended up having that 2/2, and then the elf that drains you for 2 and is also a 3/3 menace. And that was Xaxes. That was like, through their trampler, like it was exactly enough damage. And they could only cast all that because I doubled their mana. And it all had haste, which is why it killed me. And so I was like, all right, well, that one, that was tight. I'll just say we landed on the wrong side of variance on that one, but fine. In match 2, when I played it, let me go find the name of this card, because it was literally the worst possible thing they could have had. So I just play it. I'm like, I have a loaded hand, so I'm like ready to attack, and they have nothing on board. And they were playing blue-green with maybe a bit of a ramp theme. But I was like, okay, boom, 4/4, get in there. And I had been like, I'd curved out decently, so this was a lot of pressure. And I was like, let's play the haster. Let's get in there. Let's put the pressure on them. Make them have something. But you could tell as soon as I played it and they read what it did that I was fucked. Because, like, the look on this guy's face, like, wait, does this double my mana too? I was like,
yeah.
Yep. And he's just like, oh, okay. And he untaps and he casts Aurora Awakener.
Yeah.
Which is, a 7/7 trample that when it enters, you reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X permanent cards, where X is the number of colors. Put any of those onto the battlefield and put the rest in the bottom. So he revealed like 3 permanents off of this just because of the setup that he had. And I think one of them luckily was a land, but the rest of it was a big middle finger to me. And I was just like, whoa.
And they all have haste. And they all
And I was like, it would have been tough for you to cast that card without me doubling your mana, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. That's
So anyways,
brutal.
this card was as bad as it could possibly be, to the point of like single-handedly losing me multiple games and
Yeah.
never doing anything other than losing me games.
Yeah, being the reason you lose. So for folks out there, Lava Leaper is the
Lava
card.
Leaper, that's the one.
It's some sort of rabbit jackalope because it's got antlers that are on fire and it has frog legs. So elemental.
Yeah, don't play it.
Don't play that card.
Don't play it in sealed,
Oof.
which revolves around bombs, and
Yeah, and stuff like that.
you don't want to give your opponent's bombs haste and also help them cast it. It's generally ill-advised.
Probably not a good
It's the
idea.
lesson I learned from this pre-release. But did you get to play at a pre-release?
I did not, unfortunately. No, I was working last week, and also the Broncos were playing the Bills, and I wanted to watch that game, and I had family in town, so it was like kind of
Reason
just
number
too
4,
hard.
you have a newborn baby.
And I have a newborn baby. Yeah, so all of it kind of culminated to I won't go to the pre-release. Also because we're preparing for the tournament, so
And
I'm like,
yeah, and you are leaving your partner with said newborn baby for a weekend
for that
in the very
weekend,
near
yeah,
future.
So I thought it would be best if I just didn't. But it was also fine. I played in the early access event, and I did get to stream a little bit yesterday. So I was able to play the set still. I just don't have any of the physical cards. And it's kind of a bummer. Pre-releases are one of the best things. They're so much fun. And don't even worry, because the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pre-release is only 5 weeks away. Isn't that exciting? 5 weeks.
I feel like I already had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Boom.
pre-release.
There you go. You don't even have to worry about it.
Can they put a Lorwyn card in
That would
one
be
as-
so funny. I would love that. So yeah, actually, the way that they officially decided to fix that problem was that you were not allowed to use your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle card, and the store was supposed to open up a new pack and give you the first rare in that pack as your promo. I think then the store could contact Wizards and they'd get reimbursed for the product, or there's something in there where they were helping. They would like send you extra packs or something. But anyway, pretty brutal drama this weekend. People were not happy about it. So yuck.
Like, I get it. It was a bit of a downer when I saw that as my pre-release. It was, first of all, confusing. And then
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't know. I would have preferred a Lorwyn card. And
Of course.
the presence of these cards in the event made it feel... Because
Less-
this one was the one that's supposed to be the one that isn't that, it was kind of, like, weird. But, I mean, to be up in arms about it, I think is kind of crazy. Because they were pretty rare... And like most of my games didn't involve this thing, and it was in my deck. You know, like I saw one that my opponents did have.
I guess it's more so that like on the online, the entire discourse and the conversation of what happened over the weekend was all about Teenage Mutant Ninja
because
Turtles, and
yeah, that's
I
fair.
didn't hear any stories about people like pre-releases or the cards from Lorwyn that they were excited about, or like none of that happened. It was only pictures of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cards. That's all I saw, which sucks.
Yeah,
So I think this is more so a symptom of the speed at which they're trying to pump out sets, and mistakes like this happen weirdly. Must have just been like obviously they're making the products at the same time because they're coming out so close together that normally we don't have this issue. Though some people do say that, oh, we got packs sent to us, or oh, I opened this pack and it was actually these cards, but like we haven't had it at the scale where it's like actually true. The other ones kind of felt like fake.
sure, yeah.
And this one's like, no, obviously everybody had to do
Yeah, I
this,
just
so.
don't know what, like, people always have conspiracy theories with, like, very loosely thought out reasons that somebody would do this.
No.
And it's always like, it just doesn't seem like it benefits them to do
In
that.
any way. In any way, it doesn't benefit.
Wizards has a history of some pretty loose quality control. So I think Occam's razor would suggest it was a mistake.
It's definitely a mistake. Yeah, like, come on. But anyway, yeah, just a bummer. A couple more pieces of Magic news. The Pro Tour for Lorwyn Eclipsed is next weekend, the end of January into February 1st. Very exciting, and we will be playing our Magic Fantasy Draft team thing, where we play Best Ball, where you pick 8 players that you think are going to make the top 8. And you get 1 point for each match win your players get. If your player makes it the top 8, they get 1 extra point. And if they win the entire thing, you get 2 extra points. So, yeah, super fun. But if you want to play in that, we have a Google form for you to fill out. And we'll be keeping track and doing some scoring stuff. You can join our Discord as well as fill out that form in the show notes. So check that out. We'll talk a little bit more about that next week, so stay tuned for that.
Now,
but
are players allowed to play their Ninja Turtles cards in this event?
No, they are not.
But technically, the card was released in the past 2 years, right? Or 3 years for standard.
Yeah, it is. Yes, those 100 cards were released. Oh, so are they part of the standard card pool? Because they did change it. You know, it used to be a thing where it was like pre-release weekend, you could buy the cards, but they weren't standard legal for a week. And it was so stupid because everybody had the cards, but they couldn't play them. Yeah. And so it like ruined that entire week of like standard. And so the new rule is, if you have access to the card, if it's in your hand, you can play it. So Jeff is kind of right here. That's actually...
if they want to be consistent.
Wow. And you gave away a standard legal card to just some schmo. Wow.
Yeah, well,
can't believe
maybe he's in the Pro Tour. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs it more than me.
That's most likely what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, "How do I get this card?" Oh, I love turtles.
I really like turtles. Yeah. Oh God.
Here, let me buy you another beer. You need another beer.
Yeah. Just and you're probably stoked on that. You're like, yeah, give me another beer. That's what I want.
Beer. No questions asked.
But anyway, the fantasy draft is a lot of fun. It's a great way to keep up with the tournament over the weekend. So if you're looking for a fun game to play, check it out and join our Discord because we'll be talking about it. But also, if you're not super interested in watching the Pro Tour, or you want to watch the Pro Tour and have something to do, there's an Arena Direct next weekend as well. They keep doing this where it's like the Pro Tour and the Arena Direct at the same time. Which is pretty cool.
Lowers the competition for that box.
Yeah, except for, as I've found out, apparently Paul Cheon and Marshall Sutcliffe are just playing on their phone in between commentating matches.
Oh, they even talk about that, actually.
Yeah, so it's just like, I'm sure that...
But they're distracted. You know, if they're at home, their computer, they'd have a higher chance. They'd still have a high chance of kicking my ass, but they'd have a higher chance of kicking my ass.
It's true. But anyway, the Arena Directs are a lot of fun. If you want to be competitive, you want to win some collector booster boxes. They're pretty expensive events, but they're really fun if you win. They suck if you lose. Oh, man. Really bad.
If you go 2-2 that thing, it's the worst.
It's the worst. But anything above that, it feels kind of okay. If you get any sort of gems back, you feel all right.
4 wins and happy as a clam.
Yeah. And then, of course, getting to the trophy where you get a collector booster box. Pretty sick.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think I did it the first 2 times I played in these. I was like, these are trivial. And I've just been getting slammed since then. So my hubris kicked in. I was flying too close to the sun there.
I haven't won since the Final Fantasy play boosters. And it felt so good. And now every time I try, and I'm getting just tossed around.
Yeah. I need to.
But anyway, that's lots of fun. Yeah. But if you don't play in this one, there is another one in a couple weeks. So that's kind of the rhythm that we do them. But they're great. I like them a lot.
They tend to do a bunch early and then maybe a bit of a lull, right? And then they'll throw one in,
I think we're kind of in the cadence where it's like they do the collector booster box first, they wait a week, and then they do the play booster box after that, and then they wait till the next one because the sets are coming out so quickly that like you really only have 2 chances. Or sometimes they bring things back.
If the set is bad enough, they'll occasionally do a random one where they give you a totally different set. So.
That's true. They're just like, we found some in a warehouse. Their favorite thing to say.
Yeah.
Remember when, like, what was it, Dominaria? or Dominaria United,
Yeah.
where they're like, oh, we found a bunch of what was it, Legends, or what was it? There was a some set where they're like, oh, you could get like an actual card from the old set in your booster packs.
Oh yeah.
That was like a
yeah,
big gimmick. It's like you could get like a tabernacle. It was so cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, kind of like that.
They did
But all
like
right, Jeff.
Neon Dynasty or something at some point.
Maybe. Anyway, Lorwyn, you had a nice pre-release where you played some terrible card for fun, which is kind of what pre-release is about.
Fun. I also had very good cards in the deck, but I didn't draw those as much as the auto you lose the game card.
Yeah.
I had Soul Immolation, and I never drew it. And Soul Immolation is like the one where you blight X, and then you deal X damage to each opponent and each creature they control.
Yeah.
I had high hopes for that one. Seemed like a relatively strong card, but
it does seem pretty sick. But like, if you're not playing that card with like in standard with, what is it, the Walls of Bossing Say, or like that giant turtle or whatever, like.
Sure.
You want to be dealing 30, doming them for 30. That sounds great.
Yeah. And I had one other like crazy card that I never drew. But I always drew the fucking Lava Leaper, and I was like, well, what are the odds it loses again?
Turns out 100% of the time.
Yeah. It was like 0-3 in that event. The most impressive 0-3 ever, because it was like, I cast this and I immediately lose. It's not just like from a really healthy position, like from a totally normal board state. It's just like I could deal with a little extra damage here, or like I think I have the math on this, and then it was always like, nope, die next.
Nope, immediately. It's like I feel like 12 or 14 is an okay life total.
Yeah.
Nope.
What are the odds they could do 18? And they're like, I play this massive giant that has trample and gets me 3 other things that now also have haste, and that wasn't even all my mana because you doubled my mana.
See, all right, so that's what I want to talk about. So I played in some sealed events and stuff, and one of my sealed events was a Jund-ish deck. It was mostly Golgari.
Okay.
Actually, I think it was almost strictly Golgari. I can't actually remember if I was playing an actual red card or not. I think I decided against it, but I was playing a bunch of the changelings that were like multiple colors because I had Aurora Awakener.
Nice.
So I opened that, and I also opened Champions of the Perfect, which is the elf champion, the best one.
Those bomb rares.
Yeah.
Sure.
Obviously, I did win this game, but I had Champions of the Perfect on the battlefield. I cast my Aurora Awakener for 4 because I had 4. Or no, maybe it was just 3.
Your opponent
I had 3
a
different
Lava
colors.
Leaper. Got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I was, I had a 6/6 for 4, so they couldn't attack me for a while. Anyway, I cast the Awakener. I draw a land. I'm like, that's fine. Awakener hits the battlefield. 3 more lands. I'm like, the top of my deck was just 4 lands. Great. Okay.
Hey, it got you through that. Otherwise, you would have had to draw them.
I guess so, but they didn't have haste and they couldn't do anything. So I was like, cool. I mean, I still won the game, but it was like, well, that sealed pool was also kind of cracked because then the other card that I had was like the that artifact, the Chronicle of Victory. So I ended up just playing that later and giving all my creatures, I think all my giants +2/+2 and first strike and trample. And I had a bunch of changelings because the entire deck was basically like, I have a lot of elf payoffs, but not enough elves. And I have a bunch of changelings. And then I had a couple goblin payoffs. So I ended up doing like goblins early into an elf late thing, and then a couple giants at the top end. And then Chronicle of Victory was just like whatever I wanted when it came down. And it was great.
Dude, when I'm playing sealed, I hope to open any one of those rares.
It was great. I basically opened it, was like, all right, I guess we're
doing elf giant kindreds based on these 3 rares.
This will work.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I think I was playing. Oh, that's what I wanted to bring up. I was playing best of 3 matches, which, to be fair, that is smart because best of 3 is the
the event.
we're playing in a tournament, so that's going to be important for sideboarding and, you know, playing around stuff and practicing playing around cards I already know about. Though on Arena, I do forget. So I'm like, this guy has that card too? Wait, it's the same opponent.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Yeah. This is my third time playing the same guy.
Okay, yeah, it's like I keep forgetting. And they just keep getting the same rare. And I'm just like, oh, right.
What are the odds?
Yeah. So that kept happening to me.
It's easier when you can see them. And you're like,
yes, it's
I
a
am
lot
in the
easier.
same match.
Yeah. Especially because I'm not really sideboarding most of the time. So it's just like,
My limited sideboarding skills have completely
Mm-hmm.
evaporated from playing years of Arena.
yeah, well, they are limited, you know.
Yeah.
Also, to be fair, they don't really print strictly sideboard cards as much anymore. He used to be like, this card is for your sideboard. That's what it does. That the only thing it does is sideboard stuff.
Yeah,
and they're much
everything's
better
like modal now, and it has like 3 shitty modes. You're like, do I want to maybe main deck this?
But
Definitely a nod to best of one being the most popular way to play.
Yeah, and thank you, Best of One Limited, for changing those cards from playing a race, which is like a 1 mana destroy target enchantment. And it's like, what the fuck is this? Whatever. Anyway, definitely
I miss
not
the color
getting
hate cards,
limited.
though. Specifically, the hate on your own color. I always liked those ones. Like
that's
the green
fun.
cards that destroy green cards. You're like, those were the best limited sideboard cards.
That is cool. I mean, we both really enjoy color hate stuff, and this would have been a really good set to put some color hate stuff in, which they didn't do. Yeah, because there's a lot of like, you know, 2 colored cards, or, you know, vivid is important. So some cards being like, hey, actually you shouldn't play that many colors would be kind of
Or if they wanted sideboard cards in this, you just print like destroy target elf or whatever, like for 1 mana, and you just throw that all around.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we don't want sideboard cards. We only want other ones. Though it would be cool if they had, like, imagine there was a green card that killed the enemy creature types. So it was like the green one doesn't kill Kithkin or doesn't kill. Actually, that's kind of hard because it would kill Merfolk specifically, because goblins are also red and black, so it's an ally and an enemy. So maybe that wouldn't work out. A green card that just snipes Merfolk would be weird as hell.
That's what I suggested.
Yeah.
Destroy target elf.
Yeah.
But it's green, and Merfolk used to be green. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like green and blue, but in this world they're like blue and white. Anyway, what I really wanted to
I
bring
would
up
love
is,
that.
yeah, I mean, like, it would be cool to see. I don't know if it'd be played though.
They also don't usually print destroy target in anything but black anymore. Like sometimes white, I guess. Or if it has flying, apparently it's not in green.
That's what I was gonna say. Because green has a bunch of archers, and they hate things that fly.
Yeah.
Except for when they fly sometimes. Every once in a while, there's like a random green dragon from like a D&D set. And you're like, oh, okay, well, flying. But anyway, sorry. What I've been trying to say this whole time, Jeff, is that we only have best of 3 sealed on Arena because best of 1 sealed is the pick a creature type thing. It's like pick your kindred package.
Okay.
Right. It's the Khans of the Dragons of Tarkir. Dragons. What the fuck? What was it called? Tarkir Dragonstorm. It's the Dragonstorm thing all over again, where we like can't prepare for our tournament because we can't practice the set.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've been drafting because that's what I expect to do in the event.
Jeff, it's not gonna happen, man. We should honestly wait. I wanted to bring this up. We should have a side bet for like who does the best in the tournament. I think that'd be good.
Meet you in the 03 bracket to really settle that bet.
Yeah. Oh, are we playing in the 03 bracket? Or are we just like,
neither of us quit because we both want to win the bets. We're just like,
yeah,
I can't
exactly.
drop. I need to
I guess that's true.
buys.
That'd be fun. But yeah, so having both, like, obviously best of 3 sealed is great for us as we're getting ready for the actual paper tournament that we're playing in. But if you want to prepare for the Arena Directs, you can't really do the best of 1 thing because of the fact that we have these fake pre-release sealed
It's
things,
great.
which
So now that I can't prepare for either event because I can't prepare for the one that's coming up, and after that I won't be able to prepare for the one that's coming up next time because they're going to drop the best of 3 seals for some reason.
yeah, well, you'll just have to play best of 3 sealed right now. I actually don't know when they're going to be finished with it, but
the
it
metagame will be completely different by Toronto, Zach.
sure, it'll be right after the Pro Tour. That's right, yeah. But yeah, it's just like one of those things where I get it. It's really fun, and I do find it really fun, and I don't want to be like poop it on somebody's party or whatever.
I just don't know why they can't offer both. Like, just offer a bunch, you know?
Or why can't the pre-release thing be like the Phantom Midweek Magic thing? Just do that as like, hey, here's a free fun thing to do. You get to play the pre-release thing because it's really only fun once. I mean, I feel like it's only fun once. I don't enjoy trying all the different creature types, but maybe people do. They want to do like I play all the different Tarkir clans, and that's my thing. I don't find that exciting, but I also want to play, like, I want to practice playing limited, so it's a different feeling, but
Yeah, it's not for us. I wonder what I'd be curious what the numbers are on it. I understand the, like, I just love Merfolk, I want to play Merfolk. But again, how many times in a row are you going to do that?
You'll do it one time. You'll do it once for your midweek magic, and that's
Unless
it.
you really love Merfolk.
I know. I guess there are some fish lovers out there. They get crazy, man.
Those fish lovers.
I know, it's weird. But no, I just think that's interesting to point out, as well as there's another thing we have to talk about, which I haven't played yet, but it is out there. And it was brought up in our Discord, so I feel like it's important. They do have I believe it's Quick Draft Pick 2. It's like Pick 2 Turbo.
I did see that, yeah. Turbo
Draft. Now I feel like I can't remember if it was Quick Draft or like actually just it was called Turbo or something, so it was confusing me. As I don't know if it's actually against bots. I think it might just be against real people.
Oh, sure.
But it is a Pick 2 draft, which
I think it was the latter. I think it was like they were selling it as a fast draft, but it wasn't against bots.
Yes, where Quick Draft is regular drafting where you pick one card at a time, but you are drafting against bots.
You never have to wait because you're against bots.
And playing against humans. I guess because a quick draft that's pick 2 would go so fast. Like, that's crazy fast. Like, you can't wait for it's like half the time. Anyway, but we had somebody in our Discord who was worried about the set when it was first spoiled because there was 5 main archetypes, saying that that's probably a pick 2 draft type of thing. Which well, I guess they're still pushing the pick 2 draft thing pretty hard.
I wonder if like they just didn't know when they designed it, right? Like they knew they were going to do this pick 2 thing, but they weren't going to commit to that. So they wanted a set that could be either.
Yeah. I mean, like, I will say I don't really get I think that Spider-Man was probably actually made to try to be pick 2 draft or whatever because it was just late in the process and they're like, this is the only way people are going to draft it. I think all the other ones, if you have 5 archetypes, like 5 main archetypes for a draft format, like that is kind of normal. Like
that's pretty standard. Yeah.
Yeah, like either we have 10 or we have 5, but it's not unheard of to have 5. And like some of the people's favorite draft formats, Ravnica sets and stuff, had 5 because we had 5 of the guilds. So like just, Tarkir, there's 5 different clans. Like all that stuff, like just remember, like that's normal. So if it has 5, it's not immediately mean that it is for pick 2. And this one even does have seeded off-color strategies. Like, we have cards for it, so...
And it has changelings to do the Ravnica thing where you, like, bridge to adjacent ones.
Which, honestly, the changelings have been playing pretty well. They're super helpful to cast a bunch of stuff, at least when I'm playing in sealed. It's like, thank God, these changelings, I'm just going to play all the ones I can. Because I'm like, I just need this creature to like get a bump from my lord, or I need this to just be a whatever creature type.
Or I found it helpful for filling out a draft, where you're just like, oh, this is my archetype. None of these cards really fit, but there is an on-color changeling. Let's just take that.
Yeah, it's like, just take that card. Just have it. So that's just been sweet.
Also, I played a draft where I had Winnowing, and Changelings plus Winnowing is nuts. So Winnowing is the 4-white sorcery with Convoke. For each player, you choose a creature that player controls. Then each player sacrifices all creatures they control that don't share a creature type with the chosen creature. So you choose whatever shares the least amount of stuff with their type. And if you choose a Changeling, you lose nothing. This was very frequently destroy all but one of my opponent's creatures.
Yeah, I hate this card. I hate this card.
It's a ridiculous card.
I actually think I might have like a vendetta against this card because it goes against, it basically says if you're playing like you're focused on creature types, do not play anything that is not your creature type. That's what it kind of teaches you a little bit. Like you get punished if you have diversity in your deck. And the only way you're safe against this card if you're playing against it is like all of your creatures are elves with no other creature types, and you can't get screwed. Which is pretty hard because most of them have 2 different creature types, right? So they could choose warrior or something, or soldier on your merfolk or your whatever creature. So like maybe elementals are the safest because they're just elementals instead of like goblin berserker or fairy rogue or whatever. But it's like it just pisses me off. It's so easy to cast and so brutal where you're like, well, I guess it just happened to me once, and it was like I felt and I was a really good standing, and I was like, I just had like one goblin with my elves, and they're like, nah, pick goblin. That 1/3 can survive, but all your elves are dead. I'm like,
yeah, I think this is one of those gotcha cards where it's like you shouldn't play with this in mind until it becomes one of those situations like, how do I lose this game?
And it's
maybe
literally
it's by casting this random one-off creature type that I have, and they have Winnowing because it's a rare too. It's not a mythic.
It's you might see it more often. Like
don't
sealed
not
pools,
play your 2-drop on turn 2 because it's not the creature
not.
type of your deck and they're white.
No.
That's crazy. But if you're late in the game, you're way, way, way ahead. The only thing you can lose to is a one-sided board wipe. Don't play that random extra creature that it doesn't share a type kind of thing. I think that's something you have to think about. But
totally. Well, because the other thing with Winnowing is it costs 6 mana. I think it should probably cost more because of the Convoke part of it.
Yeah.
It could easily cost like, 3 or 4 mana because you don't care about tapping your creatures that are the ones that are going to die. So if you do have creatures on your battlefield that are you're going to lose them to the card, you tap them for the cast. The reason I'm mad about it, if I had played this card, I would be preaching how amazing it is. You know what I mean?
It was nuts.
Like, I know that it's really good, and it is an amazing card that I would like first pick because it's so strong. But I only saw it once too. It wasn't even like it's beaten me a million times. I just was like, oh, that was a fun game, and now it's over. Okay.
Yeah, that was my experience with it. I never drew it and was like, this isn't great right now. That never happened to me. I just drew it and I was like, well, this fucks them up. I just choose that one.
Yeah. So it's
and it was really common that the creature that I was choosing for them was their weakest creature. That was really common because people will just like fill out their curves with off creatures. Sometimes there's maybe a bomb rare or whatever. That's not the creature type that you're playing, whatever. I can see that.
You're giant or something.
But the situation I tended to run into is like it's a merfolk deck that's playing this random white 2-drop because they felt like they needed that for their curve. And I'm like, sucks to be you. Random white 2-drop is what you get to keep. Like, and that happened like 3 of the matches or games that I played were like directly just that. We have
Yeah.
Both have solid boards. I have a changeling. They have a shitter that doesn't share creature type with anything else. And I'm like, you lose the game.
Just so annoying.
It's a good card.
Anyway, it is a good card. I know, Jeff. I know.
But
Anyway,
I get
sorry.
what you're saying, right? Like, it kind of punishes you for doing the thing the set wants you to do.
Yes, that's basically what I was trying to say. I do want to correct myself. I did kind of mention that you could pick off color, off weird creature types. You don't really choose a creature type. So that was it does have to be like a creature that's different from all your other ones. So okay, I made it sound a little bit better when I was talking about it earlier. But
and the fact that its sacrifice has mattered as well, because had stuff with like blossoming defense or whatever, like, you know.
Oh, it gives hexproof and stuff. Yeah,
it just doesn't matter.
You're like, that doesn't matter. Yeah, it's just ugh. But all those cards are really strong. There's a cycle of like expensive cards that like you can convoke. I just don't understand why isn't the white one also like bloodline bidding? Bloodline bidding is the black one that's like 8 mana, and it like returns all the
Honestly,
creatures
this
from the
one
graveyard
should
to the
probably be
battlefield.
8 mana, unless they're trying to push it for standard.
It's just as
playability or
powerful. Like, I know that they're like, oh, it's a 6 mana wrath, but it could cost 4 often. And you're like, yeah, but it's not really a wrath when you get to keep your creatures. Like,
And it's exactly what you said. The crappy creatures that I knew I was going to lose anyways tap for this.
Yeah. So it's just not really. Yeah. Anyway, just makes me kind of sick to my stomach a
I
little
think
bit.
that deck got like 6 wins, and it was a very mediocre Kithkin's deck with winnowing. And
Yeah, which is
winnowing
just
won half those games.
yeah, because you just like have a bunch of little dudes that you can tap for it. But yeah, besides that, I will say overall the set has been pretty sweet, and like I was saying last week, the -1/-1 counters I have really enjoyed. I think it's been really interesting deciding if I use it or if I don't use it or where I put it. If you decide to tank one creature, where you're basically like, okay, I'll use 2 or 3 effects to sacrifice this creature essentially.
It's not easy. I even noticed that at the pre-release. Like, I had a lot of blight stuff, and I had a lot of those goblins that shock them in the face if you blight something. And I was like, where do I put these counters? And it really mattered for the combat too and stuff. So it was interesting. I was trying to like spread them out just to keep as much random shit alive as possible. But then I was like, oh, but my blocks are so bad if I do that too. Like,
It's like you're trying to keep certain things alive, or the fact that Blossom Bind does not let you put counters on your tapped creature is huge. I even forgot about it. I was preaching how exciting that was last week. I completely forgot when I was playing. I was like, oh, I'll just dump him on this stupid loser. And I was like, oh, wait, why can't I click that? I was like, oh, I shouldn't have played that card, huh? That sucks.
Yeah, our friend Ryan lost game at a pre-release because his opponent had a bunch of Blossom Binds and he just couldn't blight. And he was like, oh, this is so annoying.
That sucks. Oh man. I will say I did have a pre-release, or not pre-release, but I had a pool for a sealed event that had Disruptor of Currents. It's like a merfolk. It costs 5. It's a 3/3. It has flash and convoke, and you bounce one of their permanent non-land permanents. But my pool had 3 of them randomly, so it was like, I guess I'm supposed to play this card. It's like a perfectly fine card. It's not a crazy thing. You know, it's kind of expensive, but if you can convoke it out, it's helpful. And it was a really interesting game of like, all right, I'll tap some stuff to convoke this out after blocks, and then like the unblocked creatures back to your hand and all this stuff. And then like I just kept playing more and more of them, and my opponents just kept seeing the same rare over and over. And I was like, that's it. That deck did not do extremely well, but it was fun. It was a fun deck. But I think I went like 4-3 in a 4-3 in a. Sorry, this is important. So it was best of one sealed, but it was when I was playing the streamer event. So they had regular best of one sealed. It was not seeded with Merfolk cards.
You didn't go 4-3 in best of 3 sealed, Zach, because that'd
No.
be such a long fucking event.
Yeah, that was super long event.
My pre-release pool was I was really close to playing fairies because I got some really good blue fairy, like a couple of the fairy rares, and some mediocre like common and uncommons. But then I had 2 of the 3/2 mana wars, which aren't fairies, but they're blue. And I was like, I should go blue black, I think. But all of my really good cards were in red, so I was like, I guess. And red blue wasn't there for sure, so I was like, I guess I'll go red black. But I think I probably should have gone blue black just because those 3/2 mana wars are a friggin' house, man.
Yeah. Well, that was like they number one are a house because it's just mana war, but like extra power,
Better,
just better. But also,
and
I know
like
exactly
wizard,
what
which might kind of matter. I don't know.
If who knows. But I totally get what you're saying because the pool I was talking about earlier with the Goblin Elf deck,
Yeah.
when I saw all my rares, I had a Johnny. And I was like, oh, I'm going to play the Planeswalker for sure. But I look at my white cards and it was like, I have a bunch of 2-drops, but I have 0 removal in white. And I was like, I have 0 removal in green. I have 2 removal spells in red that I could play. And then I had 4 in black, but the 3 of them were that blight creature. It's like a 3-mana 3/4, but it comes in with 2 counters on it, and then you can give something -2, -2.
I had one of those.
So I could only kill little stuff.
That card was pretty underwhelming for me.
I wanted it to be better, and after having 3 of them, I was like, this card's not nearly as good as I was hoping. So
I liked it. Like one game I really got going because I was blighting stuff. So I would use it and then blight it and use it again. And blight. But like it was such a grindy like game that lent itself to that.
Lets you do that.
I don't think
I
that's
will
like
say
the expected performance of that card.
One cool thing about that is that like both of the lords, so the Merfolk Lord as well as the Elf Lord, both have 2 toughness, and so you can kill either of them, which is nice. Sure. Obviously, killing the Elf Lord is not as good because it can get an elf from your graveyard back to your hand. Yeah. But it did come up several times where I was like dealing with this Merfolk Lord that my opponent had, and then they returned it to their hand somehow, and I would like run away together or something, and then I was holding this activation, so we had a little dance going on.
Classic.
But ultimately, yeah, a little underwhelming with that uncommon, unfortunately. The Gnarls Barkley is like Gnarly Bark Elm or something. Whatever it is.
I think that's going to be common, though, in the sealed format. Like, you're going to be mostly... Sometimes you get the nuts pool, whatever, like in any format. But mostly you're going to be, like, stitching together creature types and trying to figure out... You're going to have, like, patches of each one. You're going to have to figure out what the best overall... It's going to be a synergy versus power level kind of debate every time.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I wanted to bring up, because when I was playing, obviously a bomb mythic... But Chronicle of Victory was so much fun to play because I didn't have a specific creature type in mind. It was always whenever I have 6 mana, it's like, what would be the best thing right now? And because I had so many changelings, it was like, well, I have 3 changelings out, and I have to choose between like my 1 elf or my 1 goblin or my whatever. And I was like, am I going to draw more of one creature type to draw more cards, or like what am I going to do? And so that was so interesting to me, but just knowing my changelings are safe, and I'm like, I'm going to get a bump no matter what.
Well, Zach, if you had 3 changelings, just choose changeling.
Yeah, just boom, there you go. But no, it was that was great. Obviously the card is busted as hell. But it was a good time. It really, when your 3 mana 2/3 lifelink changeling is hitting for 4 first strike trample, it's nice. Feels good.
Not bad.
Feels good.
Not bad.
Not bad. It's not bad.
Oh, that's what it was too, though. The reason I ended up going red-black was my changelings were all red. I had like the red-white one and the red one. And then I guess I did have the white-black one, so that would have been in either deck. But like, I had was able to do a much better job filling out my deck in the red version than the fairies version, because I had like one of the blue change, like the blue black flash one,
The
which I guess was black anyways, so I played it anyways.
Mischievous sneakling. Yeah.
But that card would have been way better in the fairies deck, because
Of course.
I had the stuff that rewards you for playing at instant speed. But...
Which is hard when you don't have, like, you're like, oh, look at all these payoffs, and you're like, I'm not going to play anything on their turn.
Yeah. I have 3 things I can play on their turn.
And it's like, I have to wait until that card's out. Like, oh, that sucks.
But I have a bunch of these Mana Wars.
Yeah. So, blah.
Fun set, though. It's, I think Sealed is going to be really interesting, because a draft so far has been at least a little more on rails for me, where you sort of, it's worthwhile to commit a little bit early, and then just, that's my creature type. And
totally. Yeah. Yeah. Has the Bloom Burrow thing.
But Sealed is going to be very like, you have patches of all these things, and it's like, then you'll have the removal spells in this color, and that won't always line up with the creature type you're the deepest in. And you're like,
and then you're like, is my deck good enough to just like put power on the board and just win without removing anything?
Right.
Really interesting. I also will say, last week we were shitting on shapeshifters and changelings a bit. Right, we were kind of saying it's a little bit of lazy design space, and it's not that cool. But I will say that I think they did a pretty good job with it, where like all the cards, for the most part, feel like they aren't constructed playable, and it's really just for limited, and they feel so nice and limited. I love.
It's just the glue for the set.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so much better than the batching they did for Bloom Burrow.
Yeah,
where Bloom Burrow's like, if it's the green card, it cares about rabbits and frogs and squirrels and raccoons. You're like, okay, I just have to, all the ones that touch green, I guess. But you just have to read so many words. It doesn't feel clean, and this just feels cleaner, so clean. Yeah.
And the fact that they made a bunch of them hybrid as well just shows they're thinking about that. It's like, this is really just to tie things together and limit it.
Exactly, yeah. It just, and they're obviously, none of them are good enough to play in any constructed format, so you're like, sick. Just like, super happy. So, after us complaining a little bit, I am happy with the change.
I complained before ever playing with them, and now I get it.
Yeah. Foot in mouth. Jeff, do you want to talk about our Wortha slots? Let's get into those.
Yes. I was just so excited to talk about Limited, I forgot that we were
even
doing
have
this. So.
Yeah.
Yes, so for every set, we want to talk about what's worth a slot in your deck. And what does that mean? That means that in Arena, you have to spend wild cards on certain cards, unless you're lucky enough to be able to draft them. And sometimes you might not know, do I want to spend a wild card on this? Do I not want to spend a wild card on this? And so we're here to tell you some cards that we think are worth a slot in your deck or worth spending a wild card on.
That's right.
And so just to make this more interesting, we slotted out as the layups. These are cards that if you are interested in playing this card, don't feel bad about crafting it. It's a no-brainer. Then we have 3-pointers. These are like, I would still say you should get the green light to craft them if it's something you really want to play, but the jury's out on whether they'll find a spot in the metagame kind of thing. Like, the card is powerful, but will there be a home? And then a half-court shot is just like cards Zach and I wish were good enough, but we kind of know they're not. And then just to help protect your wild card or give you more wild card autonomy a little, we have an overrated and an underrated card to talk about as well. Zach, do you want to start, or I feel like you always start? Is that just?
I also felt like I always start, so I was going to throw it over to you. I was going to let you go for it.
Okay, so I did look through. This one was a tough choice for me.
It was so hard, dude.
Because there's so many cards I'm interested in, and part of me wanted to pick what is going to end up being my 3-pointer. I think just as my layup, as like if you like this card, you should just like really lean into that. You should just craft it. But I think for my layup, I'm gonna land on Deceit. I think this card is just like, it just has too much going on. It's too like, it does it all.
Yes.
I think you should have no qualms about crafting Deceit if you're on the fence about it or thinking about it. And I think there's almost no way this doesn't find a home somewhere. So
Yeah. And we talked about it last week a bunch. Like, Jeff, well, first, you just want to read the card because it is
oh
new.
yeah, sure. It was really long, so I was trying to avoid that, but sure, thanks. No, so it's 4 Dimir for a 5/5 elemental incarnation. When it enters, if blue was spent to cast it, you get to return up to one other target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. And if black was spent to cast it, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card, and it has Evoke for Dimir. So you can basically cast this as an early bounce spell, as an early Thoughtseize, or as a 5/5 that potentially does both Thoughtseizes and bounces. And they even had the nice, design thinking to put the bounce before the Thoughtseize. So if they have an empty hand, it just kills the creature essentially, or whatever, the permanent or whatever. It bounces it to their hand, and then you Thoughtseize it from their hand. So.
Yeah, so it
The
basically
way it all
says,
lines up is really nice design. Like they're both
It's very
non-land
nice design.
and like
yeah. This is like the closest to like blue lightning bolt, the joke of like put target creature on top of its owner's library. They mill one. You know, like
exactly. I had a friend like as a kid who had a whole deck that was this. It was blue-black, bounce, discard, and the whole point was I'm gonna work really hard to destroy a creature. And I was like, it's cool, it's a neat idea, but it's inefficient.
yes.
When you put it all on one card like this, it looks a lot better.
Jeff, you're talking to me here. I was your friend. I'm this guy. Just kidding. I wasn't that friend, but I am that type of person that also tried to build that deck. Whenever I saw, I think Recoil might have been one of the cards.
Recoil, yep.
Yeah. That bounced
Played
something and
against that
made them
card
discard.
a lot growing up.
Yeah, Magrim, all that stuff. I was like,
man,
ooh, this is
you
so
were my
cool. Yeah, I was like, oh, I like this a lot. Never worked ever. So Deceit's a great pick. That was on my list.
I was like Boros, Lightning Helix, your face, Goblins with haste kind of guy. So I usually won, but when he won, it was awesome.
Yeah. Well, you picked Deceit. Great layup. I think it's awesome. Talked about it last week. I'm also picking a card we talked about last week. Kinscare Sentry. This is like, it's 1 and a white for a 2/2 creature. Kithkin Soldier at rare. It has first strike and lifelink. And whenever this creature attacks, you may put a creature card with mana value X or less from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking, where X is the number of attacking creatures you control. I just think that this card is going to be great in just white weenie decks or Boros decks that are creature based and care about getting more stuff onto the battlefield.
Yeah.
Somebody in the Discord was mentioning about this card how, like, if you have creatures with mobilize, it gets it even better because you can stack the triggers so that you have even more tokens attacking and stuff like that. So
Wait,
that
so you
is
get
really
to slam a Voice of Victory off this?
You get to play a Voice of Victory off of this, but like you could slam bigger things because your Voice of Victory is making
because you
a bunch
start
of
on a Voice of Victory.
Yes, that is the idea. Though we were kind of saying the opposite last week, where we just want value instead of like going for gold. Like I'm not trying to slam a dragon here. I'm just trying to get more 2s and 3s.
I mean, hey, if you have the dragon, like I'd put the dragon in my deck. I'd give myself the option to like have that dream, but I wouldn't commit the whole deck to it, kind of thing. I'd be happy to just play a 2 or 3 drop for free off this. That's enough.
Yeah. And I think I'm building a deck that's really low to the ground that's specifically just trying to do that.
I would put one Haymaker in there.
1 5-mana card. Ugh, I don't know. But anyway,
What are the odds that you draw it and can't cast it?
All the time, so often. It's just my deck is gonna get like board wiped, and then I'm stuck on 4 lands forever. That's just what's gonna happen. But anyway, sweet card. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's worth just crafting right away. You can just be like, yeah, I'll just craft this card, and not worried about.
If you're into this kind of thing, this is your card. You know
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. So
and
Jeff
the Arena regulars have been prophesizing the return of mono white. for a long
We
time.
have.
So.
And I think this card's going to help us get there. So that's kind of my whole shtick here. But I will say you picked the old Zach card and I picked the old Jeff card. So that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's nice. Though my 3-pointer. This is the one I'm most excited about, honestly. All right. So I did get to play with this card. And it was quite... all right, sorry. I'm building it up a little bit more than I should. I got to calm down. It is a 3-pointer. So it does have to be in a deck that works with what it's trying to do.
Okay.
And what it's trying to do is put goblins on the battlefield. Now, we do have some goblin stuff in the works. There have been some mono red goblin decks, a bit fringe. You could do some things, but I want to branch out from just red and add a little bit of black in there. And I think this card's really exciting and one of the reasons why you'd want to have black. So my 3-pointer is Taster of Wares, which is 2 and a black for a 3/2 creature goblin warlock at rare. It says when this creature enters, target opponent reveals X cards from their hand, where X is the number of goblins you control. You choose one of those cards. That player exiles it. If it's an instant or sorcery card that was exiled this way, you may cast it for as long as you control this creature and spend mana of any type to cast that spell. This card's actually pretty sweet. Because, like, what does your goblins deck hate the most? It hates board wipes. How do you get rid of those? Well, you have to play hand disruption, but then you have to decide whether you're going to play a creature or you're going to play your hand disruption. This is both, and you get to choose the card, and it could be anything, but there are certain situations where maybe your opponent, you don't get to see all the cards in their hand. That kind of sucks. But if you're playing a dedicated goblins deck, like we have 2 Goblin Lords in red in Standard right now that were from, I think one's from Foundations, one is from Aether Drift. You could have a little bit of a Start Your Engines theme because we have the Double Striker dude. As well as Krenko Mob Boss is in Standard legally. If you want to try to go that big, you could. There's also another Krenko you could play that also makes
sideboard,
1/1s when you attack.
Put that on the sideboard, Mob Boss.
Yeah. So there's some cool stuff. There are some like actual goblin cards that are sweet. I think probably what you want to do, because like we have Draconautics Engineer. That's just like a nice card.
It's true, man. I didn't realize the Bastronaut was a goblin too. Like I think I knew that because I've played against mono red goblins before, but I sort of forgot about it.
So you have that card. You have quite a few different red 1-drops that are goblins that'll be really great. But obviously the Bastronaut. We have Seer Slicer Goblin. You have the Stadium Headliner from...
Stadium Headliner is one of my picks for like, somehow this card doesn't see any play, but it should. Like this is such a good card.
There's another card that also works really well that would help you cast this card if you decided to do like basically red splash black for this card. Is Scuzzback Scrounger, which is from the set. It's 2 mana for a 3/2, and at the beginning of your first main phase, you may blight 1, and if you do, you get a treasure token. And so it helps you like ramp out some stuff or hit your curve or whatever. But like,
even just like the Festering Goblin we got in this set, is a nice.
Yeah.
I hate having 2 different colors 1-drops, but I don't know, that thing it's pretty good.
Exactly. So we have like a lot of different options for not just 1-drops in the set or just 1-drops in Standard for goblins that are all red. Like there is one you could play Stalactite Stalker, or you're talking about the Mud Button Curse Tosser, which is also really strong, but could be a 3-drop. It's a 1 mana 2/1. Can't block, but when it dies, you destroy a creature your opponent controls with power 2 or less. That's really sick. But I do think we want to try to play as much.
I was just talking about the one that like blights on one of your opponent's creatures.
Oh, you're talking about the Bile Vile Bogart.
Yeah. I call it Festering Goblin, I think, but it's better, a little better because it's a counter.
I am so sorry. You said Festering Goblin, and my mind didn't obviously immediately go to one of my favorite cards in Magic. I
thought you would know.
I love Festering Goblin. Yeah, it's got one of the peak arts. One of my favorites.
I know, I love that, and that's like back in the day.
You always see goblins doing stupid things, but on Festering Goblin, he's getting kicked out of town, and he's basically like crying. and it is so evocative of an entire story that this little guy's gone through.
I haven't played with that card in years, and I can immediately like recall the art almost perfectly in my mind. Although
It's
I
like
played
black.
against it a lot back in the day, but I
Yeah,
think it's a lot of
Onslaught.
shit. No, this is
Onslaught block had a lot of like black and really deep oranges.
Yeah.
And that card has a lot of it. It's great. Oh man, sorry. Love
And when
that.
they made this new card, I immediately thought Festering Goblin, like he's back.
Yeah, it was reminding me. There's a
better than
zombie that does this. I think that puts a -1/-1 counter. Yeah, because I was playing Festering Goblin because it was a zombie.
Yeah, it's a zombie goblin or whatever.
Yeah, and this one's not a zombie, so it doesn't do the job.
Well,
But anyway, so you could decide whether you want to do like a full split. I was kind of thinking mostly being red and then having this card to help you out. But like on 3, being able to slam this down, get rid of their board wipe, and I guess hold it if in case you want to cast it, which you will never want to. But it could also just be a draw spell if you're playing against control. That's something you'd be really happy with. If they have like stock up plus 2 board wipes, you're like, maybe I just take the stock up and then like
Cast
you wipe my board. Yeah, cast that. It's like
you steal a stock up, dude.
yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be so fun. So like, I think this card could be good enough if a Goblins deck emerges, and it just has the tool that usually the deck is missing. It doesn't really need a lot more power, and it doesn't need a lot more like fast little creatures. It needs protection against board wipes, and this isn't. I mean, it's protection, but it's like it's not the remedy. It's preventative, right? It's not like medicine for the board wipe. It doesn't help you rebuild, which other goblins do. This one just tries to win the game before it comes out, which is nice.
But the other thing is, like, these decks, you know, these Goblins decks are known for playing Thoughtseize. And this is what you alluded to off the bat. It's like, they play Thoughtseize kind of begrudgingly. Because they're like, my deck just runs face first into spells that destroy it.
Yeah.
So I have to play Thoughtseize. But the problem is, you then lose because you played Thoughtseize later, because you draw it in the late game. And this doesn't do that. If you draw it in the late game, you're still okay, right? Like, maybe you're not super psyched to draw a random 3/2 for 3, but it's a creature.
Yeah.
In a you know, like when you're in a top deck war against a control deck or whatever, you'll take it. Hell of a lot better than Thoughtseize.
Exactly. It has 3 power, which is really nice. It reminds me of the Thought Stalker Warlock from Bloomburrow, which is a lizard that does a very similar type of thing. But you have to make sure that you actually deal damage. But Thoughtstalker Warlock was a 2/2 with Menace, and if you dealt damage to them, then you get to Thoughtseize them. Otherwise, they just discard a card. But that was one of the reasons why it was really hard to deal with that deck, and that card ended up being really good and limited too. But
I like Taster of Wares, man. I like it.
I think it's worth a slot.
And you're allowed to play red-black now, so that's cool too.
You have the Blood Crypts. That's true. So maybe the real worth a slot's Blood Crypt.
Well, if you don't have it, yes, craft Blood Crypt.
Yeah, craft Blood Crypt. But anyway, Jeff, what's your 3-pointer?
All right, I almost put this as my layup because I think if you're into this, craft it. But I wanted to talk about Meek Attack. So,
okay.
Meek Attack is 2 and a red for an enchantment. And it's 1 in a red. You may put a creature card with total power and toughness 5 or less from your hand onto the battlefield. That creature gains haste. Beginning of the next end step, sacrifice it. So this is a nod to very famous card, Sneak Attack. But they've made it more expensive and added some restrictions because Sneak Attack was WTF busted.
Yes.
But I think there's a few ways you could play Meek Attack. And if you're interested in this, just craft it and go for it. But I think it's appropriate as a 3-pointer because I don't know if this, like, will the deck be there to support it? But the thing that I'm kind of interested in with Meek Attack is to just kind of play value creatures and to do it in kind of a busted way. Like, one thing you could imagine doing is playing High Noon and then cheating that with Nuke Attack. And you're playing all these like dumb value creatures that kind of like lock your opponent out. This is the thing that like involves a lot of weird deck building, that you jump through a lot of hoops, and when you pull it off it's awesome, but probably just isn't really strong enough.
Yeah.
That's what I'm psyched about. But I think the real thing here is that it's a combo. And
yeah,
I think the obvious thing is Famished Worldsire. I haven't thought too much about it, but Famished Worldsire is from... Oh, geez. It's from Edge of Eternities. And Famished Worldsire is 5 green, green, green for a Leviathan Ward 3 that has Devour land for 3. And so technically it's a 0/0 in your hand. And when it enters, you look at the top X cards of your library, where X is its power. Put any land cards into play, tapped, and shuffle. And Devour Land 3 means you sacrifice any number of lands, and it enters with 3 times that many counters. So Meek Attack lets you play a 9/9 Ward 3 that goes and gets a bunch of lands or whatever.
And it can attack.
And I think that kind of like combo-y approach to it is what's really actually likely to, or has a chance at being
way
a real
stronger.
deck. Yeah, way better than what I was talking about. I'm more excited about the other idea, but I think this is the one that, like, if Meek Attack is a deck, it's going to be this. Because that's pretty busted. Like, and to be able to do it, and it's like, you could do it on your opponent's end step, and then you won't sack it till the next turn.
That's true, too.
The other one is like, what is good to sacrifice? This one I think was less exciting, but it was threefold Gear Hulk or threefold Thunder Hulk. Is that it? Is something you could. This was from like way back when, but it's also a 0/0. It enters with 3 counters on it. When it enters or attacks, you create 1/1s equal to its power, and then you can sack it to like put more counters on it, whatever. So when it enters, you would create 3, and then you can attack and create 3 more. I don't know. I think
and then you leave a big board.
The other one's better, but
yeah.
There's also like the Wormcoil Engine kind of thing, but I don't think it was. That's what I was kind of looking for in my head. I didn't really find anything that was.
Yeah, I think that's not standard legal. That was
playable.
Yeah.
But there's some stuff that, like, when it dies. But yeah, I think the Famished Worldsire is kind of the big one.
Yeah.
If it's going to be like a red-green kind of combo deck. But maybe you could fill that out, you know? Like, you could throw in some... I don't know, toolboxy cards, like Reclamation Sage kind of deal.
That's true. You could also just try to play like a red-white deck that has like some flicker effects and stuff, where you like,
right? Yeah, like you
toss
could
them in,
attack something in, and then ephemerate it, kind of deal.
Yeah, we have a new one. It's called like Personify or something. It's like 2 mana, and you make a 1/1 changeling with it, which is cool. So you get the ETBs twice plus an attack for like 4 mana. That's kind of nice.
Not bad.
So there's something there for sure. I like these cards that you brought up. I hadn't thought about the 0/0s. That's a really cool thing. Because in my mind, like, I love Sneak Attack so much. I have a commander deck that has, like, basically goes nuts with Sneak Attack. Where, like, I get to keep all my creatures because of shenanigans.
Yeah.
And that's super fun. So Meek Attack was like, it does the cut down thing. Oh, that's kind of a bummer. I was hoping for like 2 mana for 5 mana value or less. I could see that being real, but the fact that it's like, you have to do something weird.
Right.
I got kind of upset about, but the fact that you brought some cool things up makes me a little bit more excited. I could see this being something. Definitely something.
Otherwise, you're just trying to do the whole like Mull Drifter thing, right? Like,
yeah, basically.
Mull Drifter.
Exactly. Which, to be fair, like if you had Meek Attack in the deck with a bunch of cards that could be meeked, and then you also play like the Evoke dudes, and you have a bunch of the Ephemerate stuff, like you could just be playing this. There could be. I mean, obviously, Meek Attack doesn't work with the incarnation things or whatever, the elemental, the deceit, and all them.
Right.
But I think they live in a similar world where it's like you're trying to. It's like, oh, I'm going to evoke this out, and then I'm going to personify it, or I'm going to whatever to flicker it. And Meek Attack would do that with different creatures. So it might be like a one of or two of in that deck, but I don't know. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, the other thing I thought it was interesting with was Reese. Is it Reese? Reese?
Oh, Reese
that just gives something persist. Because you sack it. It doesn't exile. So
right.
If you have like a sick ETB and you're just kind of like trying to flash it in with that, you can also flash in a way to sort of bring it back. I don't know exactly what's there. I mean, probably the answer is just like give your famished world sire persist or whatever. But
well, no. Well, that would be interesting because it would come back and it wouldn't have a persist counter anymore, right? Because it would enter and get counters from the Devour, right?
Yeah, it would lose the. I guess maybe you could do some sort of weird Devour
loopy stuff,
like infinite. I don't even know if you need Meek Attack for this deck, but
well. Jeff, I mean, the real combo is you have devoured the World Sire on the battlefield with a bunch of counters, and then you could just remove any number of those counters with Reese and just kill it for fun.
That's the combo, isn't it?
That's the real combo right there. You heard it here, folks. You can take off as many counters as you want. They can be +1/+1 counters. They don't have to be -1/-1 counters.
You can take off all 9 counters.
You can't.
Let it die.
Just let it die.
But the Reese doesn't have haste.
No.
Oh, but you can Meek Attack in the Reese as well.
Correct. Yeah.
To give it haste to take away all the. Got it.
It's true.
Because the Reese has to tap to do that, so.
To take away the counters to do the thing.
It needs haste. But you can Meek Attack in the Reese. Perfect.
Yeah. Boom. There you go. So
this is 5 mana, sack a bunch of lands. That's the combo.
Well, you get more though.
That's true. You might get more than you sacked.
Yeah. Yeah. God, awful. Anyway, Jeff, what's your half-court shot?
Oh, man, this was a tough set for half-court shots because I feel like half the set is my half-court shot. So it was about like, what do we land on here? You know, where are we trying to take this? And I think in the end, I'm gonna go with.
What?
I'm pulling a game time decision. I think I'm gonna go with Figure of Fable.
Okay. Whoa. Wow, I did not see this coming at all.
I want this card to be good.
I
just don't think it is going to be good.
Jeff, what the hell is this card? You got to tell me.
Figure of Fable is 1 Celestia for a 1/1. So search just Celestia for a 1/1. It's a Kithkin. You can pay Celestia to make it a 2/3 and a scout, I guess. And then you can pay 1 Celestia to make it a 4/5 soldier, only if it's a scout. And then you can pay 3 Celestia, and if it's a soldier, it becomes a 7/8 with protection from each of your opponents. So they've done this before. Figure of Destiny.
In
And
Lorwyn.
then
Yeah,
and then and the art is kind of similar to what they had there,
Mm-hmm.
the same style, the same sort of thing. And they've done it with like various allusions to Figure of Destiny over the years, and then even kind of like a level up mechanic.
I think the last one we saw was Kellen was like this.
Right, Kellen
You know.
had something like this going on. I like that 1 mana makes it into a 2/3, like 1+1 into a 2/3. I don't like that it's 5 mana for a 4/5. And then obviously, whatever. But in my head, I'm like, okay, I want mono white to be a thing, and you need 1-drops that can adapt into the late game and give them an outlet for their mana and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And this reads like it does that, but I just all my experience with these cards kind of tells me it doesn't end up getting there, and you should just play a 1-drop that's better than that, like does more for 1 mana than this does for 1 mana kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
But I want this to succeed, you know. I want it to be like, all right. I want us to, in like a 2 months, be like, I can't believe you thought that was a 3-pointer, or like a half
Or a
court
half
shot.
court.
I mean, like,
Yeah. The thing is, it gets no keywords, which kind of sucks.
it's just not juiced enough. I think like it's just stats.
Yeah, but I think like the final one where you get a 7/8 that has protection from your opponents is crazy, because your opponent, once that happens, like nothing happens, and you get to do it all at instant speed, which is huge, because the
Yeah,
difference
level
between
up mostly sucked because it was sorcery.
that sucked ass. It was so bad. And then Kellen, I think, was also, maybe it wasn't also sorcery. No, it wasn't, but it felt
I
like
think they learned their lesson from level up, because level up was awful.
it was just so bad. It was so awful to play with. It's like this is the worst. So yeah, Kellen also just can be leveled up at any point. But ended up just not getting there. I think it's mostly because you wanted to do it on your turn when you're attacking. I do like that Figure of Destiny is kind of just like, hey, I do have this 1 mana Kithkin, and then whenever I can, if I, turn 2, I also have another 1-drop. I can turn this into something bigger. I can do it at flash
That's the
speed
thing
if
I
want,
like about
whatever.
it, right? The first ability is nice, because
So nice.
a lot of times in these mono white decks, you have the multi 1-drop hand. You're like, oh, it's a little awkward.
I think I have nothing to do on this turn. The fact that it's 1/1 is awesome.
Like, you never want to waste a mana in the first 2 turns of the game like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because that could be like do or die time. That's like you either win or you lose. And Figure of Destiny only became a 2/2 for 1 mana, so that's great. And it was a little bit more color hungry than this card is. So,
And the 2/3 matters, right? Like, there's the
yeah.
2 damage, 2 and -2/-2 kind of stuff floating around. So
Yeah, but are we just going to play, if you're really worried about cheap decks, are we just killing creatures that have mana value 2 or less now? Is that like, that's just what's happening?
that's what I hate the most about this card, I think, is the Fatal Push. But this doesn't get spell snared, so.
It doesn't get spell snared. And if they try to Fatal Push your creature, the Hex or whatever, Requiting Hex or something, if you have 6 mana just happening, you can give it protection from
I have
your
protection
opponents.
from you.
So,
Yeah, so there's a finite window that they have to get this off the
yeah. Yeah, you still get to have that, am I going to activate it? Are you going to try to kill it thing? I would definitely put this card into my Kithkin deck. Like, I'm not
But would you put
in.
it in your, like, mono white aggro deck that doesn't really care about creature types? I think that's where it's like, is it getting there on that? I don't know.
It's just if you just think of it as a 2 mana 2/3, no. I wouldn't just play a vanilla 2 mana 2/3.
I feel like you have to have better 1-drops than this for mono white to be competitive, kind of thing.
And I think the half court shot's probably good because you might just play 1 copy to be like, sometimes.
Or maybe Kithkin is a thing. this is
Yeah.
your best one drop kind of thing. Like, you know.
I wonder if it's like, oh, instead of being a one drop, I'm going to keep like I have a bunch of other stuff going on, and it's like if between your two one drops in your hand, this isn't the one you play the other one, and then this one's like, all right, I can play this. I have two mana open. I do this, yeah, and you just kind of like have it there, and then your opponent now has to deal with this thing. But protection
I really
from your
like
opponent's
the art, so I'm kind of like.
well, the art is great,
this to be good.
but the protection from your opponent's thing doesn't stop the board wipe plan.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, a lot of the decks we're dealing against aren't board wipe plans. You know, we don't have a bunch of control decks, so that's lucky. We do have like Is It and like Demir and those kinds of things. So targeted removal's more of a thing, which you did sink a bunch of mana into this card. So I like it where you decided to put it. I like the card too and the art, but I think I agree with your estimation. It's probably a bit of a half court to hope to see it.
I just wish they'd juiced it with like a single keyword.
Yeah, just one.
It's like even that middle ability, that one screams for a keyword because like
It really
5
needs
mana
like
for a 4/5.
like give it.
That would have been good in the 90s.
Yeah, but the creatures they would have
By
had
that I mean it wouldn't have even been a good card, but it would have been good by creature standards. But
yeah, because creatures
were
are
so bad that
so
nobody
horrible,
played them.
like just disgusting. Yeah, it really needed. I don't know. What would you give this? Lifelink? That's probably the safest one.
Right? Because I invested
You're
all
not
this
gonna-
mana into it. Should get something back.
Yeah, you're not going to do like a 4/5 first strike. Seems a bit intense. Trample seems intense, especially
Shadow.
because the protection is shadow. Yeah,
4/5 horsemanship.
yeah. Just and then later it gets protection from your opponents.
That's a fun design.
Yeah. A 4/5 hexproof that then later gets protection. That's funny. But no, Figure of Fable, fantastic limited card, by the way.
That I could see. Like just using
which-
all the extra mana like that.
I was super low on because I was like, oh, this is just never gonna happen. Like you're dreaming. It's like, oh yeah, your planeswalker's gonna ultimate, sure. That's what it felt like. And then I was playing with it and I was like, I was playing against it. I was like, my deck cannot stop this and I am dead.
There is nothing I can do against that.
They played it late in the game and they just leveled it up immediately. And like in 2 turns, it was like full form. And I was like, it's over. It's over for me. I can't do anything.
And the worst mode on this card is a 5 mana 4/5.
Yes.
That's not a good limited card. But you don't have to add that much to a 5 mana 4/5 to get me interested in limited, right? Like, you can't sell me a 4/5 vanilla for 5. That's garbage. That's like
No.
the end of the pack is wheeling around. But you
Yeah.
put a little juice on it, and this has a lot
Hey.
of. This is a lot better than a 4 mana or the 4/5 for 5.
Your 5 mana 4/5. What if you add 6 more mana to it? Then you just win the game.
Right? Would you play that? Like 5 mana 4/5, tap for 6, turns into a 7/8 protection from whatever. Remember?
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't either. But we're getting a lot closer, right? And this is
I mean, I
obviously
would-
better than that.
Well, this one can actually, 2 mana block all the little creatures, and you don't lose the game while you're waiting to play your 5 mana 4/5.
I guess that's the real thing. It's like a 2
the
mana
real thing.
2/3 is a card in limited. It's not
Yes.
exciting
That's
and
a-
constructed, but it's a card in limited,
No,
and the
it's a
1/1
card limited.
makes a huge difference.
And they're really pushing the 2 mana 2/3s. Like that's a big deal. And in this set specifically, there's a lot. Well, this is more limited talk, but there's a good number of creatures that have higher toughness than their power. So you do have to, all the 2 mana 1/3s are
love
just
it.
like blocking all your shit, and you do need to deal that extra damage. So, yeah, very nice. Cool. Not the card I thought you were going to pick. That's exciting. I like it. Because when I think about half court shots, I think about bizarre cards that I really probably won't see anywhere else. And
No, I went
Well,
more with like I had a few of those, but I went,
yeah,
that's why I was kind of like bouncing around.
hemming and hawing. Well, I like it. I like what you did because I kind of went a little bit more traditional this time
Okay.
around.
I'm now excited.
I don't know how exciting it is, but I did pick a blue card. Very expensive. It is called a Mirror Form. It is 4 blue for an instant at Mythic. It says each non-land permanent you control becomes a copy of target non-aura permanent.
You
So
know
it's
it
not a
says
permanent.
non-aura, right?
Yeah. You know what, you're saying that I want to make auras? I want
You
all
just
my
want-
creatures to turn into auras to get
Everything's an
confusing.
aura. Yeah.
They specifically do that. I hate that the fact that they have to say non-aura stuff because it gets impossible
Just like
rules-wise.
becomes a
'Cause they all die.
singularity. The whole.
They're like, oh, do they all attach to each other? It's like, no, none of them have targets, and they're all just like nothing. Like
They'll
that's
just
what
disappear
happened.
into the void.
Basically, so you just 6 mana wipe my board. But
Mind Slayer
No, so-
myself.
exactly. No, but Mirror Form. I think this card is really cool because obviously you get to do the big busted thing. You like, you have a bunch of little dudes and they all turn into one giant flyer and then your opponent can't block, or they all turn into your opponent's best card and then you attack them with it, or all that kind of stuff. Those are all possible. But the secret mode that I really like on this card, because it doesn't happen until in turn, it just happens and they're just there forever. And it's instant speed. Instant speed. Very important.
I actually missed that when I read this card the first time.
Yeah, that's the reason why it's even worth talking about. Because the sorcery is like, okay, I don't know. The non-land part of this card only pertains to the beginning of the card. So if you are in a situation where your opponent's wiping your board, you can just turn all of your creatures into a land. And so then you just double your lands, basically, if you have a big board.
Did not consider that.
So if you're like, everything's going to die, let's just turn them all into a land. Perfect. Now I have a bunch of lands. I love that mode on this card that doesn't it doesn't look like that mode, right?
And let's say you have a Mutavault token.
Yeah. Boom. Now you have a bunch of creatures. There's a bunch of creature lands. If your opponent has a creature land, you can still do it. Because it could become a copy of target.
All right, that makes me
non-aura
like this
permanent.
way better.
Right? You could turn it into any of the cool Ixalan creature lands. You could turn it into whatever, Mutavault that's in the format now because of the Explorer.
I'm gonna turn my entire board into a bunch of fields of ruins. I'm gonna run you out of basics. Boom. Destroy all your land.
like that is awesome. And I think that is so funny. Is that the reason we play the card? No, it should not be the reason that we play the card. Obviously, the reason
now I
is...
want to sign this in. It just is my sideboard card.
Right? But like, this card's also fun if you happen to have a bunch of like little creatures or things going on. You could, Jeff, one of our favorite cards is just like a 2-mana 2/2 that can't be blocked, or whatever. There are plenty of those around we could do stuff with. Turn all your creatures into that, you get to attack. Obviously, you want a big thing, so you have a gigantic board and nothing that's legendary, blah, 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 blah. I think that part of the card has been exhausted a little bit. Like, your imagination can run wild with it. And the fact that you have this card in your deck, you're probably wanting to play a bunch of, like, token creators so you have tons of creatures. But it also says each non-land permanent. So you could be playing a bunch of cards that are just like the sirens that make maps, and you have a bunch of clue tokens, you have a bunch of treasure tokens, or anything like that, and they all turn into creatures, or just, obviously, like I said, turn into lands. Or just whatever seems great at the time. Like, I do think it would be hilarious if you randomly were playing some sort of strange Izzet deck with this, and then anything that doubled damage or something, or triple damage, and you turn all of your permanents into a double triple damage enchantment, and then just shock them.
That's a Saffron Olive special.
Like, it's something stupid like that. Like
the whole Break Arena thing. Where it's,
yeah. So I know people are super excited about this. It has feelings of... what's that Simic card that makes a bunch of tokens of X's? Like it has a
Doppelgang?
doppelgang. Yes, it has. It feels like that, except for you're not making tokens, so you don't get any of the ETBs.
And
They just turn
Doppelgang
into
was,
them.
like, kind of good.
Yeah, I mean, doppelgang was great. Oh, because this card's not good. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I said.
It
I
isn't.
merely implied
It
it.
isn't. Yeah.
I will. One
'cause-
thing, mirror form is not safe. It's worth noting because it is a single target, 6 mana instant.
Yes. So yes, if you target something, so it is probably smart to target your opponent's stuff with this, to be fair, so that they, can't blow it up. Though targeting a land is pretty safe.
What if they have their own Field of Ruin, Zach?
Will you target their own land? Do they just blow up their own land?
I don't know. Can Field of Ruin blow up their own land? I'm actually not sure.
I don't know. Probably.
Can it blow up itself? No, surely
Well,
not.
yeah, it can sacrifice itself.
Oh, right. Doesn't have to target itself. Just have
So
to
what
target
this
anything
is,
else.
it's a 6 mana destroy their creature land because they're playing Field of Ruin, and you target their creature land and they kill their own land.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do it. Okay, but the question I have is how does it interact with my half-court shot if I have upgraded it? Are
Oh,
the
I'm
copies
sure that
aware of that upgrade? Okay, Field of Ruin is non-basic land an opponent controls.
Oh, so there you go.
Yeah. You can copy their creature land without worry.
Without worrying. Amazing. I don't
guess,
believe.
My magic instinct says no. If I copy
that's
my
what-
Figure of Fable, I get a bunch of 1/1s.
Yeah.
But it's not like the usual thing where it puts counters and stuff on itself. Like, it does change
Exactly.
itself. So
That's true. I don't know the answer to that. I would like to know the
Judge?
answer to that. Yeah, we can ask. Well, honestly, hey, folks, if you figure that out on Arena, please send us a screenshot in the Discord because I want to know if you mirror form a fully upgraded Figure of Fable. Show us what happens because I don't know.
now, you can't. I know for a fact you can't mirror form your opponent's fully upgraded Figure of Fable.
Why?
It has protection.
Oh, because yeah, right. I'm sorry. Wow, I just walked right into that. I knew that. God, dumb. Luckily, your fully upgraded Figure of Fable would be safe from your opponent as well.
Yeah. So don't worry about your opponent having 10 creatures that have protection from you.
Yeah. There's the there it is. It's always safe to mirror form your Figure of Fable fully upgraded. Boom.
Yeah. Hey, that's the real combo.
That's the real combo right there. I love it. Well, Jeff, we have some overrated, underrated cards. But I think our overrated card is the same. Are we just going to say the same thing?
Well, is it the one we talked about last week?
It is.
Yeah. That's the one I had.
Yeah. This is just Hexing Squelcher.
Yeah,
Is that
I'm
what
just
it's
not. I'm not buying it, and the hype around it is
No.
super real. So it's like,
And like, I know you're screaming at your phones or whatever you're listening to. Oh, Zach, you said that you wanted to play goblins in standard and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, this card is a goblin and it could be used for that. But the reason I don't like it is because it doesn't stop you from the board wipe problem. And it doesn't, it's like, yes, it could be sideboard play, or you could even play it in the deck. I just don't think it's as crazy. Like, Jeff always says this. Overrated cards doesn't mean they're bad. I'm not saying this card's bad. I just don't think it's as good as everyone's thinking. And it's like, what is this? Like a $40, $50 card right now? Something stupid? Like, I don't think it's worth that much. I don't think you need to be freaking out about it as much as you are. It's going to go down. I think it'll get relegated to your sideboards more often than you think. And it's just not going to be it just feels safe and cozy because it has cards that it has keywords and it says things that make you feel safe. But yeah, I don't think we have to worry.
I think where this card is good is in like old formats for protecting a combo, because you can have the combo and then you can, your opponent has a way to deal with it. You can hold this card, and then it sort of it puts a tax on them because they now have to kill this and have a way to deal with your combo. Because you play this, there's nothing, they can't counter that, and then now you can play your combo and it can't be countered, so this must die first. I get that kind of play to it, but like for standard,
it just doesn't. I don't know. Like this effect is not nearly as exciting as like the Voice of Victory thing. Like Voice of Victory does the same type of thing, but is more exciting to me.
I think Voice of Victory is much better than this card.
I completely agree. And so Hexing Squelcher,
I don't know. This card's just $50. That's crazy.
I don't know if it's actually that much money. I was just like, kind of like,
even if it's more than 10, it's like, why?
It's definitely more than 10. It's one of the hits.
This is not the card I'm hoping to pull. I mean, maybe it is based on the price because I'll just sell it. But
oh no, okay. So in at face2face.com, this is all Canadian dollars. Yeah. But the regular printing is $35 and the showcase is $50.
That's way too much. $35.
Yeah. The foil showcase is $100. Are you kidding? I'm no way.
And if you love this card for like your commander deck and what, I get that. But I'm just saying, I don't think this is. I think this is going to be something people play a lot at the beginning of standard and then quickly
this card is
will not play.
Even worse in commander because of the fact that there's so many board wipes in that format. Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't play commander, but
I don't know. At least when I was playing, it was like board wipe city. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it just protects. Maybe in CDH because it protects against counterspells.
Right, like you're trying to combo. Right? If you're trying to combo, like, force you can hold it for the same turn to protect your combo.
Exactly. So, like, yes, that makes sense. Okay, CDH. That's maybe the excitement.
But is it even better than just like holding a counterspell? Anyways, whatever.
Yeah, we could probably, but. It just seems like that's such a small community. I think CDH is super cool. I actually kind of want to get into it, honestly. But, come on. Like, is this... Why
I'm a seller on Hexing Squelcher, not a buyer.
Yeah, sell this card, yeah. If you open it in your sealed pool, sell it. Sell it as fast as you can.
Yep.
Because they're going to tank. They're going to tank right after this. Jeff... Underrated card.
Underrated. I gotta go with what I already talked about last week. Just want to bring it up again. I like Oko, man. I like Oko, Lorwyn Liege.
Okay.
2 and a blue for the 3 mana Planeswalker. Beginning of your first main phase, you can pay green to transform it. +2 to 1 target creature gains all creature types. +1 target creature gets -2/-, so till your next turn. The flip side is the green side. You can pay blue to flip it back. And -1, mill 3 cards, put a permanent from among them into your hand. -3, create 2 3/3 green elk creature tokens. -6, choose a creature type. You get an emblem. Creatures that you control the chosen type of +3/+3 and gain vigilance and hexproof.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This card has a lot of different abilities. It's only 3 mana for a Planeswalker. And that +1 is better than people think. That's, we learned that with Jace Vryn's Prodigy. And the +2 is nice with, I talked last time about Unholy Annex. I still think that's a thing.
Mm-hmm. I think that's cool. I like that a lot.
You could get to that -6 pretty quick. Like, it only takes 2 activations and then a flip, so... I don't know. This card seems good, and nobody seems to be talking about it, so I'm excited to try to use it.
Yeah. No, I admittedly, like I said last week, I'm starting to look at it a little bit more because you're excited, but I was one of the non-believers. But to be fair, I was also...
Come on.
I know, but I will say the first time I saw Oko, when Oko got spoiled back in the OG Oko, I was one of this is dumb. Like, what is this? So, it's whenever you see an
Oko
Oko
has
with
a
3
history
mana,
of,
it's really hard. It's really hard to just.
Well, that
write
was
it
going to be
off.
my next point. Every 3 mana Oko has been busted.
Yeah, there you go. So, you heard it here, folks. 3 mana Okos busted. Nice. That's great. As usual, my underrated card is more limited focused. But this is a card that I had in a sealed pool, did not play it, and then was getting crushed by it all the time. And it was the bane of my existence. But we talked about this card last week, actually. We just weren't talking about the actual mechanics of the card. But Goliath Daydreamer is 2 red for a 4/4 creature giant wizard at rare. It says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, exile that card with a dream counter on it instead of putting it into your graveyard as it resolves. Whenever this creature attacks, you may cast a spell from among cards you own in exile with dream counters on them without paying its mana cost. So this was my classic start reading a card, see the word instant and sorcery on it, and kind of glaze over and stop reading. Because I'm like, oh, this is instants and sorcery matters, something. I don't care. It's also a rare that costs double pips, that doesn't have keywords, that doesn't have an ETB,
Right.
that needs other cards to do things with it. I was just on and on and on the reasons why I didn't think this card was going to be any good. However, when your opponent plays a 4 mana 4/4 that you're like, okay, whatever, that's not that big a deal, and then they kill one of your creatures pre-combat, attack, and then use that spell again to kill your other blocker and hit you for 4, you're like,
Dirty.
actually, maybe playing like all of your removal is doubled is pretty good. It still has all the issues that I've said before. This isn't going to like skyrocket overnight, but I did choose not to play this card in some of my decks because
I think I'd put this in any red deck, right? Like, if you're committed enough to red.
And that was the thing where I was like, I don't think I'm going to play red, and this is double red. I don't think I need to.
Yeah.
That deck I was talking about earlier that was playing black for some of the removal spells, I think I could have actually played red instead and done a little bit more of that.
Right.
And this would have been a great card with some of my other... Like, I had a ton of creatures in that deck and not a lot of instants and sorceries. And I was worried about it, but the fact that I needed to leverage my removal and be able to do it twice would have been good. But, well... Who knows? In that build, it still might not have been great, but it just kept showing up all over the place. This was the card that was like, this guy has this again. I was like, oh no, it's just
okay.
it's just because it's this.
Why does he keep playing 4/4s? And why does everyone keep playing 4/4s and doubling removal spells against me?
Yeah, but that play pattern of like turn 5, kill your thing, attack, kill your other thing, you're screwed. It also doesn't care if you played the card on your turn. You can kill their stuff on your opponent's turn and then do it on your following turn while playing another threat. It's, So obviously you need other things going on, but it's still
I don't know.
good.
I think if you're red and the 2 red doesn't dissuade you,
Bother you, yeah.
I think just a general red deck, 2 red for a 4/4, that's kind of above rate for a red creature. Like,
Is it? I thought that was just like rate.
for a red creature, I feel like a 4 mana 4/4s.
The Lava Leaper is a 4 mana 4/4.
Yeah, it's also a rare.
Yeah.
Also, sucks ass. So,
I
but
guess
it's not the body that sucks on it, right? Like,
I guess
I would
whenever
probably
look at...
play a 4 mana 4/4 in a red aggro deck. I wouldn't be excited though. Like,
I guess like I always think like if like rate creatures in my mind is just like if it costs 4 mana, it has to have 8 power and toughness somewhere in it.
Yeah,
That's
I get
rate.
like I don't know. I guess we're just in a world where you just don't play creatures just for rates at 4 mana.
Unless they're green, because they'll be way above rate, right? That's why we have
And
like
even
a
then,
4 mana
like,
6/6.
what vanilla green creature do you play at 4 mana? Like, you can maybe convince yourself to play, like, a vanilla creature earlier in your curve, because you need to.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 mana's...
Like
sounds
vanilla
too much,
2 mana.
right?
Well, 2 mana 3/2.
But even if you have a handful of like, removal spells, I think you play this card, just because... It's not that bad to play a 4 mana 4/4. And
I think that's what we're trying to get at, is that it is rate, and it's not, you're not feeling bad about it, and the ability actually does something, which I previously had thought it was like kind of like a fever dream, or just like a magical Christmas land, I get to do the thing. But in the end, I think it's actually worth playing. So keep an eye out for this card. Read past the instance and sorcery part, which I did not.
Well, a lot of this stuff usually has more of a condition on it. It's like you may cast it when this attacks. If you have a thing exiled, you may cast it, but you have to pay its mana cost again or whatever. Like that's a totally different card.
Yeah.
So I think my mind kind of auto-corrected the same thing. I'm like, oh, this is one of those weird instant sorcery cards.
You get to kind of copy something, but not really.
But just actually
no.
doubling your instants and sorceries while attacking with a 4/4 is a lot stronger than you might initially read.
Yeah. Even like if you're in like a red aggro deck, there's like it's like 2 mana for +3/+2 and make a treasure or something. It's like that even seems pretty good, because then you get to keep this alive. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So
I would probably, bias towards keeping some of those kind of borderline
more
cards
innocuous
in.
instants and sorceries. But yeah, it's also 4 mana if you're playing the blue-red elementals deck that cares about 4 mana. So, which then if you also play a 4 mana removal spell that happens to deal 5 damage, play it again, that triggers all your elemental stuff. Could be crazy. So anyway, I just wanted to quickly take note of that, because I was surprised. To be fair, I think I was able to win some of those matches where I had to deal with this card, but some of the sequences were scary. They just didn't happen to follow it up with enough pressure. But
I think my initial or leaning here after hearing about your stories, I think it would this card's not going to convince me that I should play red. But if I've decided that red is the best choice for my deck, like in a sealed pool, say, I'd probably play this card.
Yeah, I think so too. As long as your removal is base red, or actually no, it doesn't even matter. Like if you're like, I have enough red stuff that I'm going to play red. You play this, and then whatever.
And I have enough that I can stomach the double red, right? Like it's not.
I guess. Yeah. Sorry. To be fair, if you are playing red white, I don't know, because both of your removal spells in white at common are enchantments. So that is something.
Yeah, but maybe have some of the cinder, whatever.
Cinder strike.
Cinder strike. I kept wanting to say cinder shock, and I'm like, no, it's like shock.
Yes, but better. Anyway, cinder flash, flame slash, cinder slash.
Lightning bolt.
Perfect. Done.
Nailed it.
Anyway, Jeff, let's. Do you have any last thoughts before we go to last call?
Set seems super fun. Yeah,
it's great.
That's it.
Yeah, super fun. I'm excited to play more. Haven't been able to play nearly enough of it as well. Usually I play like a ton, but my life has changed for the better. But that does include less Magic, so unfortunately. Man, if I could just play Magic on my phone with one thumb, That would be fantastic.
I know, they need to figure that out, right?
Yeah, come on, Wizards. What are we doing? Make it so that I can play it when I hold my phone like normal. I don't have to turn it sideways.
You just need one of those, like, headbands that can read your brainwaves.
Ooh, perfect. Yeah.
Like,
Well, Elon Musk, I trust that guy with my life. He can
sure.
drill holes into my skull. That's fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
No one I'd rather be drilling holes into my skull than...
Absolutely. You know what? Actually, I think Donald Trump, I would feel a little bit safer if he was drilling holes into my skull.
He is older and more
And
experienced.
the president, and, you know, they can't do anything wrong.
It's true.
Anyway, Jeff, let's go to the last call. Let's talk about this beer. As always, we rate all of our beers on a scale from bronze to mythic, just like the tiers in Arena. However, everyone's in different tiers at different times, so don't feel bad when we say that bronze beers are trash. They're horrible. You spit them on the ground, you pour them out, you hate them. They're so gross.
And silver beers are just bad or boring.
Yeah. Gold beers are fine, but you wouldn't really drink it again.
Platinum is solid. You would totally drink it again.
Gold beers, or sorry, gold. I already said that. Diamond beers are exceptional. You like them a lot. You show them off to your friends.
Mythic, these are the best of the best. These are the Kinscare Sentries.
Oh my gosh, that's so nice. Wow, Jeff is never nice when we get to this part of the episode. I can't believe it. Anyway, Jeff, I want to hear your thoughts. First, granola brown ale. What even is it?
It was a brown ale.
Mm-hmm.
It was light-bodied, as they promised.
Yes.
The part that I might take a little bit of umbrage with is the full flavored. So I think what they're selling here is like brown ales are traditionally heavier body than this. And they're saying we lightened it up without sacrificing any of that flavor.
Classic.
That's what I was sort of interpreting from their marketing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I agree with that. I think they maybe did lose some of the flavor. They definitely lightened it up, no question. And they kept that, like, very high ABV. This is pretty high for a brown ale. So they kind of did a more American thing, I guess, here. Versus, like, a British brown ale, which would be, like, lower ABV and higher body. And I liked this. I thought it was good, but I think I like the British thing a little better. I think I want a little more, like, meat in the bones. I like the body of brown ales. It's kind of what I like about them, I think.
Yeah.
And so they did the whole, like, let's lighten it up, keep the ABV high, make it more drinkable, I guess, is kind of the idea. Like, you can feel good having this maybe on a hot summer's day, whereas maybe a more heavy-bodied brown ale you might not want in that situation. But I don't know, I think whether it's just I'm conditioned for the style to be a certain way or... but I think I just kind of like it better. That's kind of what I like about that style that maybe a lot of other people in North America don't like.
It's like, hey, you know the style that you really like? What if all the things you liked about it weren't here? Which is not super true. Like, it still has some of the flavors.
Yeah, it still definitely had that kind of, like the granola, I get where they're coming from. It has that sort of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like grain, you know, like...
What's the word? Grain belt? Grain...
Yeah, like it tastes like breakfast stuff. That, you know, that grainy stuff that you'll have for breakfast. Cereal, granola, whatever.
Yeah, so this is kind of interesting because I had like a 4-pack of this beer, and so I saved a couple, but I did drink a few,
right?
When I was actually there, and it was the classic buy the beer from the corner shop that's like in the cooler that's not cool enough to your hotel fridge that's also not cool enough.
Yeah.
And so then you drink it and it's kind of warm, and at the time it was like, this was so upsetting when I had first had it. I was like, oh god, this sucks ass. Like, I really didn't like it. So actually I liked it a lot more this time.
Good.
Where I was like, my mind was like, oh, this is kind of not great. I'm not excited. I'm kind of nervous. And then I had it tonight, and I was like, you know what? This is actually much better than what I had thought.
But that's what these lighter
however-
body styles are more about, right? Like you want them cold. Whereas like
Yes,
the British
exactly.
like big body stuff is
They're
room
supposed to be
temp,
warm,
you're okay
yeah.
with that.
Which I totally agree. And I do like, understand the granola. Sometimes there's like a nuttiness to it as well. But the nut brown ales, I like those. I like the sweeter ones. I like all the things that you're kind of saying are the same reasons I kind of like this. Or sorry, like other beers instead of this one. And it also has almost it's not smoky, but like a toasted something.
Toasted, that's the thing.
Feels a little, which is not normally a thing I don't like about a beer. But it's a little, there's a bitterness to it that's not exactly what I'm looking for. And maybe
This tastes
it's
like
literally
somebody
with,
who's a lager drinker tried to fix brown ales.
oh,
You know
sure,
what I
sure,
mean?
sure.
Like,
That's
they're
probably
like,
it.
this is the problem with brown ales. They have too much like beeriness
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on. I
They're
want to
too
make
sweet
them
or-
lighter and
Yeah,
colder.
yeah, So I think with that, like, I think I was kind of on the bridge of like pretty low on this beer coming into the episode, but I think the World Beer Cup really nailed it on the head. This is gold. They
Yeah, I
got
was
a
gonna say,
gold
this is gold
award.
for me. Yeah,
Yeah, great
they
job.
put it right on the can because they knew.
They knew.
We should let them know so they can replace that with Arena Regulars Gold. On their
Yes,
can.
exactly. We could just write it. We could Sharpie it on the side. But yeah, obviously we're not going to go back to Connecticut to go to this place. But it seems like the type of place that I would be interested to see what their other stuff is. Though I'm obviously our characterization, we're a little worried by them not seemingly loving brown ales and hoping to try to fix them, which I don't like that idea. I like them the way they are. So just make a good one. Yeah, we'd appreciate that. So gold beer this evening, unfortunately. But what are you going to expect from the States? Oh, God.
I do have some pretty good beer down there.
Yeah, they do.
For now, we'll see.
Yeah, well, I don't know what's going to happen. Anyway, let's go to closing time. As always, you can reach us at Arena Regulars on Instagram and Blue Sky.
You may also find us on Arena itself under the username Arena Regulars Podcast.
If you want to talk to me personally, you can find me at @theregular_Zach. I'm on Instagram and in TikTok and Blue Sky and all the different places, YouTube. But Jeff, where can they find you?
Best place is our Discord channel. Come play in our Pro Tour fantasy results. Super fun. Last time we got a pretty good turnout for the World Championship, and I'm hoping we can match that. And I'm hoping I could do, I'm not even going to say a lot better. If I could do a little better, like not dead last by a lot. That's my
That'd be
goal
great.
this time. So
Actually, no. That would be terrible. I want you to do really badly, and I always want to beat you.
because you were second last, yeah.
Yeah.
So come show us that you know way more than us about the pro scene by kicking our ass at the Pro Tour fantasy draft that we do. Or if you prefer drafting, we also do an Arena Peasant Cube draft. That means it just takes common and uncommon wild cards. It doesn't take up any of those rares. We know you have too many of these Peasant wild cards anyways, so come play this curated cube draft. Happens once a month, I think the second Wednesday of the month, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Yeah.
And it's super fun, and we always have a blast. Come play.
Yeah.
Link is in the show notes for the Discord.
That is right. Also, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, follow us on Spotify. Leave us a review there as well. Go to the YouTube channel, leave a little comment. Tell us what you think about the show. It means a lot to us. We really appreciate all of your thoughts. This has been the Arena Regulars.
Reminding you that if you want to mirror form your figure of Fable, we can guarantee that it's safe. We don't know if it's good.
I think it's probably bad, but anyway, good night. All right, that's fine.